I thought we played a great 32 minutes. From the tip-off to the 8-minute mark left in the second half. I think we led by 13 at that point. And then everything changed. The Gary Trent show began. He ends up scoring 30 points. But the key, I thought, was his 2 threes from the right corner, one right after the other. That cut a 13-point lead down to 7. And then they switched to the zone, and we couldn't buy a basket. We were all of a sudden not playing as sharply as we had for the first 32 minutes.
You've had plenty of success attacking them, downhill, pick and rolls, everything like that. And once they switched to the zone, it was nothing. But overall, not a lot of movement offensively. What do you think? How do you diagnose what happened offensively tonight?
Well, I think you described it very well. Against the man-to-man, we were able to get downhill and score toward the rim. But against the zone, you got to make shots. And we tried several different offensive sets, and none of them seemed to work. Guys were very hesitant. We have a couple of guys that are not flat-out three-point shooters. They don't look for the three. Their game is driving to the basket. And the zone limits some of that. We tried a ball screen for them, and even that, they drove in there. Those big guys, we got several shots blocked trying to get to the rim. You got to do credit in that. I mean, you go to the rim and Wendell Carter blocks the shot. You go to the rim and Wendell Carter blocks the shot. I mean, that was kind of in the last 8 minutes. Trying to get inside the zone was difficult for us.
Jim, you had a lot of steals, a lot of transition offense, and then in the last 2 minutes they did not commit a single turnover. What changed there?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, they didn't run a lot of offense. They just threw the ball to Gary Trent and he made the shot. Or they threw the ball directly inside. Now, one of the things we did so well early in the game is we didn't give them quick opportunities to score. They had to run their offense. In the last 8 minutes, they were able to come down the floor, make a pass either right inside to Wendell Carter or right away to Trent, and he launched. So if he misses those, then we got a great chance to finish the game on a high note. He makes those, cuts the lead to 7. Then Dewan has a dunk opportunity that gets deflected by Wendell Carter. They go down the floor, and Trayvon Duval scores. And then Bagley gets a three-point play. I think he missed the free throw, but, it was an N1. Oh, he made that free throw? So, it's one of those things. They got a high-octane offensive team. They're the leading scoring team in the country, and they go in spurts. They have tremendous spurt ability. And while we were spurting back on them in the man-to-man situation, we were able to not only stay with them but actually build a 13-point lead. But once they cut that lead to 7 and switched to the zone, we had no answers for the zone defense.
When you talk about DJ, he seems like he's kind of lost his shot and he's not where he was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we rely so heavily on him to make threes. It probably puts a lot of pressure on him, and he's one of those guys that if he's given time, he's going to shoot a high percentage. But he probably needs to take like 8 or 10 or 12 threes a game to really get in a groove, and we just don't find him often enough. And the other thing I've said is we found a unit that was playing really well. Chris Likes was playing well. Lonnie Walker was playing well. Dewan Ewell was playing well. Anthony Lawrence was playing well. And then we were rotating with Jaquan Newton or Bruce Brown with those guys. And then it's sometimes easy to make rotation decisions, sometimes very challenging. So tonight we went with the guys we thought were playing well, and they earned us the 13-point lead. They just weren't able to sustain it.
Hey, Jim, as a follow-up to DJ, did he play in the second half at Clemson? I don't know that he did.
I don't think he has played much in the last 2 games.
Tonight he had 6 minutes. So is there a reason for that, or has that taken him out of his groove?
Well, there's a number of reasons. First of all, I love DJ. I love coaching him. I think he's a terrific player. I wish I could figure out a way to help him. I wish his teammates were able to help him more to have really good games like he's capable of. But he's also in competition with, Bruce Brown and Lonnie Walker at the wing. So while Jaquan Newton and Chris Likes are sharing that point, Lonnie Walker and Bruce Brown are now the starting wings. So those guys are bigger and more athletic, and in an open court game like this one was, I was sticking with Bruce and Lonnie, and you can see that in their minutes. Oh, so someone sacrifices. When we played Florida State just last week, when was that? Sunday? So 8 days ago, DJ played 27 minutes because he was very effective when he was out there, even though he wasn't making a lot of shots. Their defense keyed on him, and that opened it up for other guys.
Coach K was very complimentary of your roster and the talent on this team. Where do you gauge the team so far in just ACC play thus far?
It's what I said at the very beginning of the year, and my opinion has not changed. I think we're very young. I know Duke is even younger than us, but we only have one senior and only 2 juniors. Our team is made up of basically freshmen and sophomores. And I think those freshmen and sophomores are very good players, but they are young. And so you see games where we make some critical mistakes at times, or we get cold from 3 like we did against Clemson, where we go 6 for 23. But it's a young, talented team, and it's learning. But in this league, doesn't matter how talented you are, the other team is at least as talented, if not more so. And that goes, when we play Clemson, they had 4 seniors and a junior in the starting lineup. Those guys have been there before. So we know we're in for a tough ACC race. The other thing is, I'm not 100% certain about this, but we've only played 6 home games. Was today our 6th? Today was our 7th, and 6 on the road and 4 on neutral sites. That's a lot of games not here in the Watsco Center. So it's really hard to start out the conference race with 3 of your first conference games on the road. Is this our 3rd or 4th?
This is our 5th. So we had
conference game on the road?
3 of the first 4 were on the road.
Yeah.
Coach K was actually very complimentary of DeJuan Hewell. What did you see about his game? Did he shine for you tonight despite the loss?
Well, he had 18 points and 13 rebounds. He's been playing like that all season. Someone asked me before the game about DeJuan. I said, well, he is the most consistent player on the team right now. And he ended up shooting 8 for 16, which is 50%, which is pretty good, but it's also low for him. He's been shooting. He's been the leading field goal percentage shooter in the league for the first 5 games. So, he's having a very good sophomore campaign.
What are you seeing with Bruce, in particular with Bruce and Jaquan in the backcourt there the last couple of games offensively?
Got to make shots. If you get a shot, you got to make a decent percentage of it. You see their shots. It's not they're taking terrible shots or anything, but Jaquan was 1 for 4 and Bruce was 3 for 12. 4 for 16 from our 2 veteran guards who we're counted on, and everybody knows going into the game. But teams scout us. They know exactly what those guys like to do. And sometimes the defense is pretty darn good, and it stops them.
Coach, it seems like Lonnie and Chris are starting to find their footing a little bit. How do you think they've progressed so far?
Yeah, I think both the freshmen are doing a good job.
Jim, when you start a conference race like this, as tough as it's been on the road, how are the guys taking this right now? And do you worry that struggling early like this could, hurt them a little bit?
Well, it hurts. I'm in pain. I don't feel great, but we got tomorrow off. We'll go back to work on Wednesday, and look forward to the next one. Nobody likes to lose. No one plays to lose. Everybody plays to win. And in this league, the kids come into this league because they want to play against the best players. I mean, if you look at Duke's team, when my players are 40 years old and parents of young kids that are like 8 and 9 and watching TV, they'll be talking about when they played against some of these guys because they're going to be in the NBA for the next 15 or 20 years. Oh, I know I still have great memories of playing against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bob Lanier, Calvin Murphy. I think those 3 guys are in the Hall of Fame and 3 of the top 50 players of all time. So I can tell you how many shots I took against every one of them and how many points I scored.
Jim, it seems like there's 2 things that are really hurting you right now. Defending the 3-point line.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're for, let's say, 15 games or something like that, we were 3rd in the country in defending the 3. So.
And then I guess the other thing would be attacking the zone.
Yeah, the zone has been an issue right from the very beginning, and we haven't found the right formula yet.
What are you trying to do, Jim? Again, just from a baseline coaching perspective, if you were talking to a group of young kids, you're facing 2-3 zone, what are you looking to try to do from a basic level to attack that zone? Because you know you're going to see it now every game.
Well, the simple answer is when you're facing zone, you've got to move the ball, move yourself, and screen the zone. Ball screen, flare screens, what have you. And then the most important thing is when you get the open shot, you make it. And you've got to be able to go inside and outside. And right now, it's very hard for us to go inside. And so we end up settling for long perimeter shots.
All right. Thanks, guys.